Got it.
All right.
Okay. Let me start off.
Yeah, that'd be good.
All right. My mic in view. There we go. All right. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Sweats, Heels, and Mental Health Podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Marshawn Drawn.
And I'm your other co-host, Maria Drawn Bush.
And as you all know, we're Twinning with Winning Women. Today, we just wanted to kind of recap and come back with our guest that we've had, a good old-time friend, Mr. Darren Smith. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Please stop. Stop it. Stop. Okay.
I forgot with you with the sound.
Listen.
I was waiting to use it. I've been waiting all season just for you ladies.
We appreciate that. It makes it so exclusive. But no, we thank you because I know you busy this week. He's in LA, people.
Yes.
So he carved out some time for the twins and the podcast. Thank you.
Anything for two pretty women. Hey, I aims to please. You ain't got to ask me more than once.
So definitely. Well, I mean, you could tell the people a little bit about yourself again for those who didn't tune into the first podcast before.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you, and also thank you all for having me on once again. Darren Smith. I am a sports radio host out of Kansas City for KOKC Parsons, Fox Sports Radio affiliate, ESPN Kansas City, as well as Sports Radio 810 WHB. So I cover the Chiefs, I cover the Royals, I cover KU football and basketball, and I also cover sport in Kansas City and other sporting events, when I get a chance to make time for myself. But, I've been doing it since I was in high school. Covered the Chiefs. I think they were the first sports team I covered back in 1993. And so I've just been, I fell in love with the sports world, the media world. And, it's gotten me, this weekend will be my fourth Super Bowl in a row that I've had a chance to cover. And this is my fifth time on Radio Road during the week. So what's interesting is that I started a new job and I'm actually in training. So I have to, and because my training class is 8 to 5 Central, I have to start from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then as soon as I get off at 3 o'clock, I switch over to do my radio stuff. So, I had sponsors. So even though the Chiefs lost, I had sponsors that send me out here. So, they still want content. They still want, everybody still wants to, hear what I have to say. And I've been fortunate that people respect my viewpoints and, respect what I have to say. And so I get guests. I'm guests on other people's show. And so it's a blessing to do what I do. Love it. Wouldn't trade it for the world. And I'm not gonna lie. It's my first time spending this type of extended time out here in Los Angeles. I can really get used to coming and living out here. So, I know places like Kansas City and Nashville are pretty good, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to bring somebody down this way. So we have to wait and see.
Listen, you have to try pastrami. I think it's called Johnny's pastrami. Oh man, it's so good.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. It's interesting because obviously one of the big things about LA is traffic, and so I haven't had to worry about that because I'm not driving. I'm either getting a shuttle or doing an Uber. But I'm thinking about this weekend coming up. We're supposed to be at Lee Steinberg, which is Patrick Mahomes' agent. He has a big Super Bowl party that everybody goes to. This will be my first time that I'm going to this one because I've always had something conflicting, whether it's me doing the shows or something like that, where I couldn't go. I'm making a point to go this weekend. We're going to have I'm going to be at 2 parties this weekend. I'm not going to stay out late because, again, we're 2 hours behind. So, but like that Friday night where there's going to be NFL media party where they're going to be they're treating us to Universal Studios from 8 to 11 p.m. I couldn't get people to come out Friday because, but they were like, come out Saturday. Now, if you come out Friday, you get a chance to enjoy Universal Studios for free, all the free food and drinks, and spending time with your boy out there. That's what we do. Yeah, exactly. And rides too. Now, look, I am someone who can fake it when it comes to roller coaster, but I was told because I thought that they were gonna have some real roller coasters, and I was going to fake it because I don't do heights.
Yeah.
But when they said no, they're on the roller coasters. Oh man, look now you gotta be too excited now.
On it.
I'm ready to go out here and have a good time this weekend.
That's
And
what's
then of course I got to cover the game Sunday,
That's right. Big
and I
time.
got a badass suit too that unfortunately I'm not gonna be able to wear for the because of the Chiefs, but I'm still gonna wear it for the people
oh,
on Sunday.
yeah, represent KC and LA.
Got to,
Represent.
got to.
Yeah, this brother needs suits. Yes.
You dripping that swag on social media. I feel like wiping
Thank you, ladies.
it.
And
Oh,
I'm gonna be wearing your favorite suit on Friday too, Maria, at
oh,
the NFL thing. So yeah,
oh man,
I'm
that's
breaking that out.
it's bad.
That's what's up.
Yes, good.
I had
So
to give y'all a preview of the game day suit when we get off here. I can't spoil it for everybody else,
Oh, yeah.
but I am gonna give y'all a little sneak preview.
Hey, we weird. We ready for it.
yes, receiving. Come on. So Darren, listen, the last time you were with us, we were stoked about the Chiefs, their ride to AFC Championship, and since then, as you know, they've lost. Um, Tell me, what are your thoughts on what does their future look like?
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, I still haven't gotten over it. I still feel a certain kind of way. So, so being that I cover the team, I don't want to make it sound like I'm too emotionally involved, but everybody knows I also like to gamble as well. So that's another thing too. So, they cost me a lot of money. Think
Mm-hmm.
about that. But going back to the season overall, I know from speaking to players throughout the year, and I know how they think they'll look at this season as a failure. Obviously, they started off 3-4, made it to the AFC Championship game, but as Travis Kelsey says, they didn't win the Super Bowl, so they consider the season a failure. Not only did they not make it to the Super Bowl, but they had an epic collapse in the second half of the AFC Championship game that for most teams and for most players, that could potentially be hard to, to get past. Because look, we've seen teams collapse. Let's say like the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons had a 25-point lead over the Patriots in the Super Bowl 5 years ago. They
Mm-hmm.
they led 28-3. New England came back, beat them in overtime. I think 31-28. The
Mhm,
team's never been the same since. Now,
mhm,
I think this team is made up of different character. I do. Look, I mean, we all know what Patrick Mahomes is, Travis Kelsey, some of these other players, Andy Reid. I believe that they'll be able to bounce back and
Mm-hmm.
they'll learn and they'll grow for it now and grow from it. I thought they were going to do that with their loss to Cincinnati in early January, and it didn't happen that way. But because you got an extended off season to look and reflect, I think these losses will make them better next year. And look, here's the other thing too.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Patrick Mahomes, this goes on your legacy. This goes, on your resume.
Yeah.
And the only way that you can get out of that stigma, especially after the epic collapse that you had back then, you got to turn that defeat into an all-out victory next go round.
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Now, do you feel like we need new players added, or do you feel like we really do have a strong team moving forward to the next season?
Oh well, it's funny. It's funny you asked it because
Mhm,
you can say that you don't need new players because you got to where you are with the players that you currently
Mm-hmm.
have.
mhm,
However, everybody's a year older, and you had question marks about, let's say, a number two wide receiver on the opposite side of Tyreek Hill. Now, McCole Hardman, Demarcus Robinson, Byron Pringle, none of them really uh, stepped up to have to be that number two wide receiver. But as a collective unit, towards the end of the season, they started playing better. When the Chiefs won, what was it, 11 or 13 games before losing a couple of weeks ago. So
mhm,
I mean, if you're looking because of the salary cap, and even though the cap is going to go up for them, but man, the players that you got, you're going to have to cut some. You're going to have to cut Frank Clark because you can save money.
mhm,
Whether or not you bring Jaron Reed back, I'm not quite sure. I think see the problem is that you have players on the offensive side like a DeMarcus Robinson, like a McCall Harmon. McCall is he's still on the rookie deal. This is the last year of his rookie deal, but I don't know whether or not the team extends him. DeMarcus Robinson, he came back on a veteran minimum, maybe $1 million or something. So, it makes financial sense to bring him back. But I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, because if you bring in another receiver or top flight number two receiver, you got to pay that money. So you're going to pull from somewhere else to bring somebody else in. You're going to have to pay Orlando Brown because of what you gave up to get him. You gave up a couple of picks and trade up in the draft to get him from Baltimore. So you've got to pay him. The question is going to be whether or not you paid Tyrann Mathieu. Now, I know a lot of people. Now, I believe you can pay him,
Yeah.
but you can't pay him. You can't pay him to be the top safety, even though his resume calls for it. When you go and you look at the film, there's a lot of things when you start to break the film down and you're like, he made a lot of business decisions that you kind of question. One of the things that I would do, I would look at perhaps extending Chris Jones out so you can lower his cap hit because he didn't play up to snuff. Again, Frank Clark, you're going to cut him. You could obviously bring him back, but you're going to cut him and bring him back at a lesser salary. If he can, of course, get by his California charges that he's facing here now. So to answer your question, yes, you do bring some new players, and you do need to bring some new blood in that saying that have the same hunger of a player who's never won or someone who's won and wants to win again and play with Patrick to perhaps extend their career or whatnot.
Yeah, mix it up a little bit.
And I was, you brought up something that, last year, well, this season, but earlier, during when the season started, was the use of special teams.
Yeah.
How do you feel about how the Chiefs utilized those special teams in the beginning?
I mean, the special teams, you talking about like at the beginning of the season or towards the end?
Beginning is
Well, I mean, they were 3-4. So, I mean, I think as a collective unit, everybody did not play their role properly, I guess, or in the manner in which, if you're a Chiefs fan, that you thought that they should. Harrison Butker was missing kicks throughout the year and missing extra points. And you're just like, wait a second. I mean, it makes you start scratching your head like,
Yeah.
bro, we were paying like $5 million a year and you got one job.
one job.
One job.
One job.
Just, and so, I mean, look, it's easier to say, well, yeah, that's what he get paid. He gets paid. You can't do it if you're under pressure. Yeah, but they're not paying me that kind of money. They pay me that kind of money. Under pressure, I know what I got to do. But look, you're not going to get rid of him. Tommy Townsend, played well enough. I mean, I think he's safe. So if you're making any changes, it's gonna be obviously on the lines of the people that that are playing outside of the kickers and stuff like that. So I mean they'll make changes, but that'll go to more so people who are trying to make the team and draft picks and stuff like that. So I don't really delve too much into the special teams because I know and I do know it is an important crucial part of the game, but that's something that's below my pay scale.
I got you.
Totally understand.
Yeah. Me and Marshawn was talking about this whole thing where Patrick Mahomes' fiance was receiving flag for opening up the
Ooh,
champagne bottle on a crowd.
trying to get me in trouble.
And, I'm like, people do it. I've been to multiple, few Chiefs games, and I know that it's, we get wild. We go
diehards.
and we're diehards. And so I felt like what she did, I mean, it's a part of the territory,
Right.
but there are people that are giving her a hard time for that. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, let me say this. I'd have to take it on a case by case basis, and because I have a problem with what she did with the champagne. Some of the other stuff, it is what it is. But the champagne stuff, I think it was after the Buffalo game. I got a problem with that because, first of all, you're not part of the team. I mean, you're someone's girlfriend, fiance, however you want to, well, his fiance, but nobody else's significant other acts in that manner and does things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're putting yourself in a position that you shouldn't be in. You're doing the type of things that you do, and then two, nobody asked to be. I don't care if one person asks to be doused, then fine, douse them. But you doing all this stuff and getting, now I know for a fact, had it been one in, two sisters
Right.
on this deal, getting champagne in their head, they'd be trying to drag her,
Yeah. Yeah.
across the stadium. So,
Yeah.
and so,
Oh,
um, you know, I read the comments. I do read the comments. I'm active, or I like to read things on social media, see what people are saying.
Mm-hmm.
There's a class of people who will defend what she does, and others, who don't. So I don't that part I don't get into. It's just that, to me, what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. Like, I mean, you're not part of the team, what I'm saying, to do something like that, because I'm sorry, Brett Veach and Mark Donovan and Clark Hunt, if they want to do it, that's different.
okay.
You're just, I mean, and so, along with her, obviously his brother, there's a lot of stuff that I don't know whether or not they plan to do that type of stuff, but I thought it was at times too much. Though now the thing about, with Jackson TikToking on Sean Taylor's number back in DC. Now I was told, and I did see where the Washington PR people, the community, they put them there. So,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't. I'm not gonna. And he's a grown man. He may act like a kid, a young kid, but he's still a grown man.
Right.
I'm not gonna blame that on him with the whole TikTok stuff. I think that's, that happens. He just wrong place, wrong time doing it, and so we've all made mistakes like that. So I'm not gonna browbeat, him because of that. There are other things that, that we've seen throughout the season that you could probably, Patrick talked to him, and he didn't, and he may not have, but if he didn't, I know the Chiefs people did. So,
Some,
but be that as it may, hopefully this off season they'll have that conversation, and and because it really did become more of a distraction, because there were times that we would ask Patrick questions about that in the presser, and it's like, we shouldn't have to ask him about
mm-hmm.
you or your girl or your fiance, because of things that you did that end up becoming bigger than the game itself,
Right.
and when you start becoming a distraction like that, that takes away from what the team was doing on and off the field, and it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
I
That's how I felt about it too. I felt like it was a distraction and it took away from the team. And I mean, it just got blown up to something that it shouldn't have been to me. So
Yeah,
yeah.
because I mean, if you start thinking about it, I know the whole thing with Jackson in the restaurant. I mean, you know,
What happened?
let's well, yeah. Well, look, I would now. I just know about what I read on social media, but let's just say that if he was anybody other than Patrick Mahomes' brother, then things would have turned out a whole lot differently for him, than it would, with him being his brother. Like, there
Mm-hmm.
are things that, whether or not he would get thrown out on his face or be arrested or beat up or something like that, it's because he's Patrick Mahomes' brother, that he's been given a lot of grace, so to speak, around the city and stuff. Now, look, I think he's a good. I've never met. I've seen him a couple times, but I've never met him. Never had a conversation with him. But again, I too was young. I did some crazy things or whatever. But sometimes he may do things at a level because of his brothers and the finances behind it. But I just think at times it's something that a conversation should be, should take place, and it hasn't yet. But it is what it is.
And that's the thing, when you're associated with certain people, that, I mean, whether you like it or not, it's gonna
Yeah.
follow you. And so
I'm like,
you gotta, connect accordingly.
No, I agree.
Absolutely.
yeah,
So
pretty.
yes. So, and speaking of folks you're connected to, me and Michonne had brought up this fact about Brian Flores. We're in the middle or just beginning of Black History Month, and
Mm-hmm.
here this comes
Yeah,
with
February 1.
Right.
Brian Flores. He's a 40-year-old Black Latino coach, NFL coach, was head coach. Um, what I was reading up on, he was the fourth Latino coach in the NFL history, but he has recently filed a racial discrimination lawsuit against that's he's named Dolphins and Giants and Broncos, saying that they
And
found.
the other 29 teams, and he does identify as black, so I don't, that.
Oh,
Yeah,
he does?
black. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
no, he's black.
Right.
Yeah,
Like, like,
he definitely black.
black. Come on. But I was reading, the NFL Commissioner Roger Codwell. I've seen him. He's now out doing all these publicist things and speaking, saying that the NFL. He admits that the NFL has fallen short in hiring minority head coaches. And what I was reading is about five so far. I think 9 slots came open, and 2 of those slots they've already filled with 2 minority head coaches. So just wanted to get your thoughts on this. For me, this is bigger than Mr. Flores.
It
Well,
is.
at well, had he not filed his suit,
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably sure we'd still have one black head coach in the NFL, which is Mike Tomlin from Pittsburgh Steelers. The Miami Dolphins hired, I think, the offensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers, who didn't call plays, by the way, but let's keep that in mind. But he identifies as multiracial. Take that what it is,
Mhm.
you know, now where I come from growing up, if you had one drop of black blood and you was
Black.
black. But,
Right.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
Right.
Leave that alone. He identifies multiracial. He think he Tiger Woods. I'm gonna let him do his thing. And so, and what's interesting is that the Houston Texans, which Brian Flores was a finalist for,
Mm-hmm.
initially, and I had this discussion, I had this conversation with Doug Goblin of Fox Sports Radio before,
Mm-hmm.
came on to this show, that they were going to hire a former NFL quarterback who has no coaching experience whatsoever. He is a volunteer quarterbacks coach at a high school. They were going to hire him, but because of the lawsuit, they ended up going in the direction where they brought on the assistant head coach to be the head coach in Lovie Smith. Now, you know, conspiracy theory, whatever. I know, I was born at night, but it wasn't last night. I
Right.
know exactly, what that was, and so, I mean, look, the radio guy said that the guy had 18 years of coach quarterback play. I'm like, that don't mean nothing.
I
I'm
don't
like,
know.
I mean, Byron Leftwich, I mean, what was a finalist for the Jaguars. Of course, he comes back and says, well, why did he take the job? I said, well, he wanted his own general manager. Well, yeah, he wanted somebody fired. Well, I'm sorry, all of the other coaches who were doing it, get to bring in their general manager as well. So I'm sorry, if they can do it and they're the opposite persuasion, why can't he do it?
Right.
He was like, you got a point. I know this.
I
So
know this.
that is what it is.
Now tell us about the Rooney. I know we
The
talked about
Rooney Rule.
the Rooney Rule.
Yeah, I was reading about that.
Well, the Rooney Rule was established back in 2003, and see what a lot of people kind of fail to realize is that uh, what a lot of people fail to realize is that rule came about because Johnny Cochran threatened to sue the NFL before he passed
Mhm.
away. He threatened to sue the NFL, and so he was going to have a class action lawsuit. And what ended up happening was Art Rooney, I'm sorry, Dan Rooney, uh, the owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers before he passed away, they came up with the Rooney Rule where league owners or the owners had to interview at least one minority candidate for a head coaching position, as well as I think at the time front office position as well. They had to at least interview one. So if you had an opening, you couldn't do it. Otherwise, you'd be penalized, draft pick, something like that. And so, but teams started doing it to where, okay, we'll bring you in. We just ain't gonna hire you. So it started to become more of a show because at the time when they did it, I think at the greatest time they had like 8 black head coaches, and up until this year there's 3. Now it was down to 1 after the
Mm.
end of the season, and now I guess call it 3, 4, 5. I don't even know, because multiracial. I don't know what that's supposed to be considered. So, So they have more than they got more than two black coaches now, I guess, with Lovie Smith and Mike Tomlin, and however the guy from Miami wants to categorize himself. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But be that as it may, that and so I think last year they increased it to where you had to interview two candidates
Mhm.
for head coach as well as the front office. But even then, it's kind of hard to tell a billionaire owner who they should hire. But but what they fail to realize that Congress can pull your tax exempt status, and I guarantee that you're gonna want to wish that you would have hired more. So we'll see how it all plays out. I don't know where they go, how they make it better. I know the commissioner talked about it today in his Q&A with the media. But we'll just have to wait and see what answer they come up with. And look, I think that unlike the gentleman that I interviewed earlier, I think that Brian Flores has some merit with his lawsuit, and we'll see. We'll see what happens with it.
Oh yeah, and he knows what he's coming up against. He's already had
Oh
talks
yeah,
with brother Reverend L. Sharpton and other civil rights leaders, and so um, I think he has a team that's standing with him. He's got a community of folks standing with him. But again, I believe this is much bigger
yeah.
than Mr. Flores, but that's courage. And
Yeah, because look, I mean, he's basically going to be like Colin Kaepernick, where he's not going to be able to coach in the NFL. But look, if he feels like if he has to sacrifice to make it better, then for him, look, he's unless he does something with his money, he's not going to go broke anytime soon. So, but I stand with him. So
absolutely,
Support the brother. Bring awareness.
yeah.
trust me, I do.
Listen,
I do all too often.
and I work in not federal, but state government in a high leadership role. And I tell you this, leadership knows who they want to hire before they
Oh yeah.
mention they're going to be opening a position.
Right.
And so, that's part of it. But it's unfortunate that he had to find out the way things happened the way he did, getting a text message saying congratulations, and he didn't even,
Right.
so he's gotta, I support him 100%.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
we definitely do. I'm
Uh,
all for it.
yeah. So, Mashani, I know that there was something you wanted to mention. I think it was, what would you want to, nothing?
Well, actually, I don't have anything else. Yeah, we covered
I
what I
talk,
definitely wanted to
I done
discuss.
talked myself out of everything. I'm sorry.
No. Yeah, the Chiefs lost. A lot of fans. I was at the stadium, still sore off that, but still support
Right.
them. I'm a Patrick Mahomes fan. I'm gonna ride with them all day. I know it's a lot of activity happening in the NFL, a lot of switching and things going on. So just excited to see what this next season brings.
Yeah, look, I tell people all the time that for me, obviously, this is my Super Bowl radio role and covering the game. So this is for me a culmination. But to be quite honest though, free agency, the draft, the build up to the season, I get kind of geeked about that. So for me, this is a year round thing. I mean, like I said, I do cover other teams, but man, when it comes to NFL and all the chess pieces, all the chess moves that teams are trying to do to get better or to better themselves and what happened a year before, or teams that you think you're gonna have to do to try to knock the Chiefs or other teams off. I mean, this is part of the season that I get geeked for now, and I'm excited about as well.
That's what's up. Absolutely. Well, we always appreciate you, Mr. Smith.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it very much for having me.
Yes, for sure. Well, as one thing I definitely want to acknowledge, since we are in our Black History Month, and normally we do honor a woman of the week, as with our podcast, but in the celebration of sports, I did want to kind of highlight for Black History Month, Willie Lanier. Do you know
Willie
about him,
Lanier.
Aaron?
Willie Lanier.
Lanier, thank you. Willie Lanier. He was the linebacker for the Kansas City
Kansas
Chiefs,
City Chiefs, yeah.
the first in that professional role, African American in the football league with the Kansas City Chiefs. So I just want to honor him. We thank him for paving the way. I think that's pretty awesome with the Chiefs. Um, so we just want to honor, people in Black history with our logo.
Oh yeah, nah, Bobby Bell. I mean, oh gosh, I don't know. I knew I was gonna start it. There was Emmett, Emmett Thomas. With they look they were all black players who not only made the Chiefs Ring of Honor and won a Super Bowl with the team, but also and Buck Buchanan. They all made it to the NFL Hall of Fame as well. So I mean, look,
Mhm.
Kansas City, the squad back in the '60s and '70s, man. I'm, they had some squads back then. The fact that they only won one Super Bowl with that type of talent, they went to two
Right.
Super Bowls but won one. But still, when you start to think about it, when you think about the players that they had, obviously you think of Joe. Oh gosh, what's my man with the cigarette? Lynn Dawson. I'm thinking Joe Montana, but Lynn Dawson and Fred Albanis at tight end, Otis Taylor. Man, I mean, Johnny Robinson. Man, Chiefs had a squad back then, yo.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I remember our dad talking about the games he would go to. And
Oh
so,
yeah.
yeah,
And,
absolutely.
and speaking of, look, and I know you all do honor women, so I do want to make sure I honor my mama, Nina Howard. So if I don't honor her, she sees it. You give me no shout out, so I'm shouting her out. So honor her, and honor my sister Sharice as well. So
Yes.
make
I
sure
remember
I
Miss Nina. Yes.
Beautiful,
yes, yeah.
beautiful spirit. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I gotta honor, my two black women on here, Michonne and Maria. I mean, hey, you all are doing big things because I don't know any other sets of twins that's doing a show like this. So shout out to y'all and make sure that give you all y'all flowers as well.
Oh, we appreciate that.
Appreciate that.
Give the flowers now, right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am. You
Absolutely.
know,
for
yeah, if
sure.
y'all had been in L.A., you might have gotten a few other things too. But it is what it is. Yeah, gonna keep it clean.
Listen. Well, we thank you, Darren, for again just paving out some time for us with the podcast.
Anytime.
Get that information out there. Definitely be safe. Enjoy yourself. We can't wait for the Super Bowl. I'm waiting for this halftime show and these commercials.
I'm gonna say that. I'll be honest. That's all I'm waiting for. I don't care
Yeah.
about the game. Look, I have to gamble on the game just to find interest in the game. I just want to have time like everybody else.
Yeah, we all like, I heard it's a football game during the concert.
Right, right. Oh, it's only 12 minutes long. Like, come on, man.
Right. So I can't wait. Well, you enjoy yourself and again, be safe. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in, watching, listening. Until next time, be great.
Be well, good people.
Cool
Yay. Thanks,
beans.
Sharon.
Give me 1 second. I'll find the
Gonna
suit
give
for
us
you.
you gonna give
Thank
us
you
a
so much.
preview. Come on, of that
Yeah.
GQ like cover. What you gonna do?
There you go, boo. See, now had you been here, you'd have been able to dress me. You've been like,
Okay.
oh. But hold on, so I know you were like, well, what's it look like? That's what it's gonna look like.
Oh,
Oh, I like.
I
nice.
know.
Darren.
That's gonna be nice. What kind? You wearing black shoes with it?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, sauce.
Yes, indeed.
That's what's up. Oh, well, I hope you get to enjoy yourself and eat some good food while
Man,
you're
I'm telling you, I ain't gonna lie. I'm getting some sleep, so I'm taking my ass to bed. I was up till midnight last night
uh,
playing Candy Crush and stuff. I was like, I don't know what the hell I was doing. I couldn't sleep. And then
yeah,
the next thing I know, I woke up. I was like, oh, I was up 5 hours later. I was pissed.
that time
'Cause
change it's
Yeah.
man.
huge. It
And
is.
then and what's crazy is once I adjust, because I'm here for about 6 more days. Once I adjust, I got to be 2 hours back.
Back in case.
It's gonna make me mad. So
Well, taking all that weather too. Did you go to? Have you been to the beach yet? Listen, you're gonna get me on LA, and I just love it.
nah, I mean, trying to get you to come to LA this weekend. You was
Uh,
like, oh, my son is sick. No. I was like, hold on,
Mama,
I don't.
and I'm
I
ready.
know. And then he was like, "Oh, he better now." I was like, "Okay, cool." Then you couldn't like, "No, I got
I bet
customers."
he's
I'm like,
better. He's at home. He was at home today. Bless his heart. So,
"Mm,
yes.
that's
That's all right. Y'all can hood it up. Y'all can do it next time.
Yes, come on.
ain't gonna be in LA till like 2034 or something. I don't know. It's a long time away, but
It
You
is a
gotta
long
go back,
time.
Nate. You gotta go back for a leisure trip. It's really fun. It's expensive. It's
facts.
fun.
I gotta figure. Yeah, I gotta figure it out. But yeah, we'll make it happen. But thank you, ladies, so much. I won't break the stuff down. I'm gonna try to get out of here because it's almost 5 o'clock here,
Yeah.
but it's like emptying out. If I don't, LA is different, man. East Coast, everybody's coming trying to be where we at. But like
Yeah.
it got busy today, but the next 2 days is gonna be crazy.
Thursday, Friday.
So
When everybody coming in town.
yeah, it's gonna be crazy. So
Yeah, we'll be
thank you, ladies, so much for having me.
Thank you. Get you some rest and some grub.
I am
And drink.
Roscoe's baby.
okay. Come on. It's
Roscoe's.
so good. Depending on which
Ros-
one you're going to too.
Oh no, everybody has said that.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think they got like seven,
Good.
seven locations, but everybody said it depends on which one you go to. I'm like, well, yeah. But it is what it is. We'll figure it out. But but let me get off here before I say something. Y'all gonna
Look, let me leave.
go give me a show. You'll be over here flirting and if my shines make me like, what the hell? Not
Yeah, I'm
talking to
like,
her.
look, let me leave the combo, dog.
I know, right? I say something, and next thing you know, Maria's gonna be on the next flight out here. All right, so we hey, you ladies have a good evening.
Hi, dear. Thanks again.
Anytime, you know that. And I'm glad you're feeling better too, because she said that you were sick, so I'm glad you're
Oh
feeling better.
man, yeah. Wait. And thank you for rescheduling and being flexible. It was bad. I still got a little, but thank you because I had a bad cold. It was bad.
Was it COVID or was it just a cold?
I think it was just a cold
Oh, okay.
because I didn't have other symptoms. But these days, who knows? But I
Yeah.
stayed home.
I've been fortunate not to have it. So I mean, I'm in LA where it's a hot spot, but I've been fortunate. I got my mask and everything right here, so
Mhm.
we're good. All right, well, you ladies take care, and I'll talk to you soon.
All
You
right.
too.
All right, bye bye.
Bye.